Please stand if you are able and join us in the singing of O Canada. Please be seated. Good afternoon. Invited guests, parents, family members, supporters, industry partners, alumni, faculty, staff, and especially our graduates. My name is Angie Clark. I'm the Director of Student Affairs for the Marine Institute campus, and it is my pleasure to be your MC for this afternoon's ceremony. I would like to officially welcome you to the 2018 Marine Institute graduation. Before we get underway, I would like to take a moment to introduce today's stage guests. Starting on my immediate left, in the first row, Leslie Noftel, Institute Registrar, Ms. Iris Petton, Chair, Memorial University's Board of Regents, Mr. Glenn Blackwood, Vice President, Memorial University, with responsibility for the Marine Institute. Moving across the aisle, Dr. Rob Shea, Associate Vice President, Academic and Student Affairs for the Marine Institute. Mr. Gary Bradshaw, Associate Vice President, Administration and Finance for the Marine Institute. Mr. Doug Leto, Member of Memorial University's Board of Regents. And Ms. Nancy Smith, the Associate Registrar, Admissions for the Marine Institute campus. On our second row, again, starting on my left, Mr. Mark Bradbury, Memorial University Board of Regents. Christian Sampson, a soon-to-be graduate, and a member of the Memorial University Board of Regents. Ms. Christine Penny, the Marine Institute Student Union President. And today's speaker, Ashley Davies March, a soon-to-be graduate from the Marine Environmental Technology Program. Crossing the aisle, Mr. Fred Anstey, Head, School of Maritime Studies, Mr. Ed Durnford, Head, School of the Fisheries, and Mr. Paul Brett, Head, School of Ocean Technology. And last but not least, Ms. Kathy Dutton, who is now responsible for special projects, the oceans-related projects at the Marine Institute. In starting this ceremony, we would like to respectfully recognize the Indigenous peoples of Newfoundland and Labrador, including the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk, who acknowledge the island of Newfoundland as their ancestral homelands. We would also like to recognize the Inuit of Nunatsiavut and Nunatuavut, and the Innu of Nitassinan, and their ancestors as the original people of Labrador. As Newfoundland and Labrador's only university, Memorial has a special responsibility to serve all people. We strive for respectful relationships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. I would now like to ask Chief Monsell Joe, a special guest at this year's ceremony, to come forward and provide a blessing to graduation.
Good day, all. And the first thing I would pray for is a little bit of sunshine. When you get to be my age, come up those steps, you got to wonder if you're going to fall down and what are you going to do if you do. So my plan was if I fell down, I was going to blame Catherine for pushing me. And going down, I'm probably going to blame Glenn Leto. Anyway, I just want to acknowledge, we have one of our own band members here today, Paula Andrew. So proud that not only to be part of this great institution, but we have one of our own band members graduating from this incredible place. Chief Dan George was an hero of a lot of people, and he wrote many wonderful things in his life. One of the greatest things he's ever said and done, at a 1969 bicentennial, he gave his own version of O Canada. The last part of that O Canada, his version, was before he passed into the spirit world, he wanted to see his young men and women sitting in the house of law and government, ruling and being ruled, and being part of building a greater nation. And I believe that's what we're doing. In places like this, all over the world, we're seeing our young people filling those roles of law and government. And I want to read to you a prayer that Chief Dan George claims to be one all over Turtle Island, which was called before became North America. And he claims that Christopher Columbus, when he arrived in North America, he said he had found savages and heathens. And when he went back to his homeland, he said, claimed this what was on this new land. And according to the story of Chief Dan George, he says that I'll accept the word savage, but I'm going to contradict him on the word heathens. Because on this new land, there was a prayer that was known by everyone, north, east, south, east, and west. And the prayer goes something like this. It's, O great spirit, whose voice I hear in the wind, hear me. I'm small and weak, and I need your strength and your wisdom. Let me walk in beauty, and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hand respect the things you have made, and my ear sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise, so that I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength, not to be greater than my sisters or my brothers, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so that when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit will come to you without shame. Congratulations to all of you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Walalio taho.
Thank you so much, Chief. A very special way to start today's ceremony. Look at all those big smiles. There are not many days on our campus that are as special as graduation day. It is a great day for our graduates, their families and support networks, and for the Marine Institute community. Graduates, you deserve today. And it is your day, and you should be very proud of it. You did it, you made it, you persisted. You have come from all over the world, Galtas to Grenada, Wabush to Winnipeg. And before your time at MI, you may not have had anything in common. But after today, independent of your past experiences, diversity in your programs of study, or your permanent addresses, you will collectively enter the ranks of the successful alumni of the Fisheries and Marine Institute of Memorial University of Newfoundland. Your perseverance through many hours of hard work, significant class time, and technical training will be recognized here today in the awarding of your technical certificates, diplomas of technology, advanced diplomas, and postgraduate certificates. Newfoundland entrepreneur Zita Cobb recently was quoted as saying, "Things get done by people who believe deeply." We hope that when you reflect on the substantial academic, technical, and work experience gained through your time here at MI, that you feel equipped to believe deeply in your ability to find a meaningful career and see prosperous opportunities in your future. We can't underestimate your experience here at the Marine Institute. You have not only learned discipline-specific skills and gained academic knowledge, I would suspect you have learned a lot about yourself. And you have grown as an individual. You have overcome small and large obstacles on your journey to today, And we hope that today, as each of you cross this stage, you feel you have fit here at MI, and that you feel like members of our community, a community that has truly benefited from each and every one of you. As we were entering a few minutes ago, you would have noticed that many staff, faculty, and management are in attendance to be a part of your celebration today. And it is important for you to know that the Marine Institute community is very proud of you. Without further ado, I would now like to call upon Mr. Glenn Blackwood, Vice President, Memorial University, with responsibility for the Marine Institute, to deliver his graduation address.
Thank you, Angie, and I'd like to acknowledge Ms. Iris Pettin, Chair of Memorial University's Board of Regents, and the other members of the board that are in attendance. They provide a lot of volunteer service to the university that we're a part of, and I'd like you to join me in welcoming them to the Marine Institute's graduation. Also, Chief Mazel Joe from Mia Weebukik. Getting that better all the time. First Nation of Conn River. I've known Chief Joe for a long time, and I know the transformation he's made for education in the First Nation of Conn River. And welcome, sir, and thank you for bringing greetings. Every time he comes to see me, he brings me a gift, including a canoe, as he says, the first vessels of Newfoundland, which we'll celebrate at some point. I'd also like to welcome all of our faculty, staff, management, industry partners. There's a lot of you. I won't go down through the list. But these students are very successful in finding jobs, and the partnerships we've had in terms of your work term placements, and those of you who've had those, are with many of the companies on this side of the room. And your families, of course, and the faculty and staff are behind you. Our faculty and staff, most of them are standing. I apologize for that, and I'll speak quickly because of it. And of course, the families of the graduates. This is a big day for you. It's a big day for all of our graduates. But I know how proud it is to have somebody walk across this stage and see your sons or daughters and loved ones achieve what is a lot of work. So some of you I know, some of you I've known since Parents' Night 4 years ago in some cases. And parents come in then wondering what this is all about. And today, this is what it's all about. So good afternoon. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here today as we celebrate the most important day, or one of the most important days in the life of our graduates. I'm honored to share in this moment. Congratulations to each and every one of you on these achievements. I'm sure there will be many more achievements to come. This is a start. And what you've accomplished during your time here at the Institute, I'd like you to take time to reflect on that. And also take a moment to thank the people who helped you get here, your friends, your families, your mentors. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge Dr. Peter Fisher. And welcome back, Peter. Peter retired from us a few years ago and used to head up our academic affairs and academic and student affairs side of the operation. Always a pleasure to have you back with us. And I'd also like to welcome, as I mentioned, our industry partners and include Mr. Ross Pettin in that today. And I don't think Vern Pettin could be with us. But that is a connection that goes back. I know Ross was awarded Fisherman of the Year a few years ago, and his profile was about his time at the Institute. Put your hand up, Ross, so I can find you. Way in the back. Anyway, welcome. And also here as a parent celebrating success. So I'd like to take this moment to thank those people who helped you get to where you are today. I'm sure you will later. And I'd also like to acknowledge two very special alumni who are attending today's ceremony. Mr. Eric Way, I see Eric over there, and Mr. Walter Mercer. I'll tell you a little story about these two alumni, because you're about to join that group. Eric graduated 49 years ago from this institution, and he had a very successful career with the Federal Department of Fisheries and Oceans, worked quite closely with us. And Eric, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think you've ever missed a graduation. You've been to most of them. And so thank you for coming today. Also, 50 years ago, we had our first graduation ceremony. We're 54 years old, so our first four-year diplomas were awarded 50 years ago this month. And Walter Mercer graduated from the Marine Institute's Mechanical Engineering Technology program, as it was known at the time. That graduation was presided over by then Premier Joseph R. Smallwood. Walter came to my office today, and I challenge all of you to do this. You have your graduation books with you. Walter brought in his graduation book from 1968. It was actually June 28, 1968, when Walter graduated from that program as our first graduating class from diploma programs. Now, Walter went on at the time, that was our first graduating class. At the time, we were known as the College of Fisheries, Navigation, Marine Engineering, and Electronics. It wouldn't fit in the business card, but we lovingly called it the Fisheries College for short. And we were located at the former Memorial University College building on Parade Street. Mr. Mercer went on to continue his education after a few years in the workforce. He received a bachelor's degree in engineering from Ryerson and a master's from Carleton. In those days, obtaining a degree from this institution was not possible. But times have changed, and I'm talking to you about change and the progress you've made. Today, we offer bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and as of last year, a doctorate for those who wish to continue their formal education with us. Through Memorial University, we built those degrees for your future careers. I know many of you are already enrolled in some of them, and I know a couple of you have graduated from them a few short weeks ago. So that is a big change for us. What we've done in introducing these programs is to allow you to continue to grow. I'm telling your parents this because I want them to pressure you to sign up. I know how it works. But it's also an opportunity to combine the practical, hands-on experience of a Marine Institute education with degree programs that can expand your learning and career opportunities, now and in the future. Today, many of you have set a course that will guide the rest of your lives and careers. You may not always know where that voyage will take you, but you must keep an open mind to new possibilities and opportunities. Life is about change, and few institutions recognize this as well as the Marine Institute. You have all played a part in changing the face of the Marine Institute, and today you will leave us to face a changing world. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." That's exactly what we've been doing at the Marine Institute, and formerly the College of Fisheries, since we opened our doors in 1964. We've been educating students to change the world, especially the marine and ocean sectors. Everyone that's walked through these halls, from Walter Mercer to Eric Way, then and now, has played a part in that change and building something new. Our staff, our instructors, and most importantly, you, because you are the reason we exist. The face of the Institute has changed over 54 years, especially when you look around and see how many females are graduating from today's graduating class. That's different than when Walter and Eric went through the Marine Institute, and it's different over time. And it's wonderful to see those sectors embracing diversity and our female graduates, no disrespect guys, excelling in their fields. So these days, women account for almost 1/3 of our student population, which is a transformation and change in the Institute, a change for the better. This spring, one of our newest master's programs at its first graduate, Ms. Tess Forbes, received a Master's of Marine Studies in Marine Spatial Planning and Management. In September 2016, she was part of the first group of students to start this program. It's the first graduate-level degree in Marine Spatial Planning program in North America. This field of expertise brings together many different users of the ocean, and we need to protect the marine environment and share marine resources and space in a sustainable way. Government and industry are recognizing the value of developing this talent and expertise, and we are preparing students like you for these opportunities and challenges. As I said, the Marine Institute's been challenged by a number of changes since we first opened our door. We sort of roll with the punches. But in 1992, as the cod fishery in Newfoundland and Labrador ended, we joined forces and became a part of Memorial University to start facing that change head on. In more than 25 years since that cod collapse, we've strengthened our relationship with the fishing industry through community-based training, diplomas, degrees, PhD programs, and applied research. We've increased our fishery science research and expertise. We've collaborated with colleagues in fishery science and transformed our understanding of the ecosystems in our waters. We've also expanded our focus on oceans industries and remote technologies with programs such as underwater vehicles, ocean mapping, and ROVs. And those programs now are about 10 years old, and we've seen graduate success in those from the start. Ocean exploration is taking us further and deeper into the sea to learn about what lies beneath the surface of the ocean that covers more than 70% of our planet. Bob Ballard calls it inner space. You are the people that will be working on and in that ocean. You have an enormous opportunity to make a difference. So let me close my remarks with one of my favorite sayings. Education is a voyage, not a port of call. Your voyage will not end today. As you leave the Marine Institute, some of you will embark on new careers, while others will carry on with different parts of your formal education. Whatever path you choose, remember that learning is a lifelong endeavor. At work, at home, in the classroom, and maybe on your phone sitting on a bus somewhere. There's lots of ways you can learn these days. But there's always room to grow and broaden your knowledge, and to develop new skills and to explore new ways of doing things. Over your time with us, we've seen you change. A lot. True? And also we've seen you transform from young, eager minds to solid, confident graduates who are starting to define yourselves in what you will become. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. It is clear from Glenn's remarks that there are numerous areas of innovation and excellence here at the Institute. One specific area is teaching excellence, which is fostered by the tremendous work of our outstanding faculty members. I would like to welcome Dr. Rob Shea, MI's Associate Vice President, Academic and Student Affairs, to present MI's 2018 Teaching and Learning Award.
Always nice when you get a clap for doing nothing. Let's hope there's a clap at the end of it as well. This is what an amazing day, and we have a number of amazing days throughout the year, from September when you arrived, graduates, to today. And each and every one of those days have been very, very special because learning has occurred. We've chosen to give the 2018 MI Teaching Award every year at graduation. And the reason it is because this journey you've been on has been a journey that has just not been a soul journey. It's been a journey that has had girlfriends and boyfriends supporting you, partners, wives, children, family, moms, dads, aunts, uncles. Everybody around you as a community has supported that journey and is very, very proud and accomplished today because of what you've done. And not only is it an extremely great day for you, but I beg your indulgence to share it with me and share it with others here to recognize one of MI's outstanding teachers. We started this about 3 or 4 years ago, and we did it because we recognized there was outstanding teaching occurring here, but at the same time, it wasn't being recognized to the level it should. So we took an opportunity to create the Vice President's MI Teaching Award, and then every year we award it here. And if you'd like to work with me here in the next few minutes, I beg to get into your graduation day, but I think it's important to recognize individuals who are standing in the back of the room, and one individual who was nominated this year to be MI's recipient, along with a multitude of other nominees. We have a teaching award selection committee, so it's not just Rob Shea making that decision, which would be really weird. It's the actual teaching award selection committee is comprised of each representative from each of our schools, last year's winner, a student representative, and Corinne Breen, who is in our Instructional Development, Curriculum Development Office, to provide support to that. And I, as an intermediary chair that group. And this year, it's interesting that when you think about Sir Wilfrid Grenfell, I love to take Newfoundland's quotes and quotes of Newfoundlanders who have come before us. And Sir Wilfrid Grenfell once said, "True joy does not come from ease or riches, nor from the praise of others, but from doing something worthwhile." Today, we are recognizing an inspirational faculty member who personifies this quote. This year's recipient excels on a multitude of levels, with a focus on educational leadership, innovation in the classroom, commitment to public engagement, and special connection to students and their colleagues. It is hard to reflect to an audience such as you the passion this individual brings to teaching and learning. So this year, I've decided to do something a little different and to provide some insight into the volumes of information the committee had to deal with when looking at our nominees. But the volumes of information that came forward wasn't just a resume, wasn't just a nomination letter signed for 10 or 15 people, which is amazing unto itself. We asked each nominee to develop a teaching dossier, which can go from anywhere from 5 or 10 pages to 30 or 40 pages, which chronicles their experience, why they chose to be a teacher, why they chose to inspire young and senior and adult and children's minds. Because that opportunity that is given to a teacher is a vocation, it's a calling. So when I thought about how to reflect what we saw as a committee without breaking any confidence, I thought I would pull some things that were in this teaching dossier that the nominee, who's a winner today, kind of reflected on their own educational journey. This year's recipients stated in their teaching dossier to the committee, "I say without hesitation that I love my job and I love what I do. Each day, I work with talented and driven colleagues and students on a daily basis, and they are what helps me maintain the passion for what I do." This is an interesting quote. "In grade school, I remember my grade 3 teacher who used to bring his guitar to class and make up songs to help us learn math timetables. When I read this, I realized why I'm not really good at math. It's probably because my grade 3 teacher didn't bring a guitar to class." This individual also said, "I had a university teacher who developed numerous in-class activities that got us out of our seats and got us active in the pursuit of learning." They also had a teacher in their graduate studies year who told stories to make the lectures come alive. And that individual still remembers those stories 20 years later. The final comment the nominee put into their package was, "I aspire to be that kind of a teacher of those who came before me." This year's recipient used the following quotes to personify their vision of teaching. "On training students to become critical thinkers. Albert Einstein once wrote, 'Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think.' On student success, Benjamin Franklin, 'Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning.' On the responsibility of teaching, Robert Meehan wrote, 'A well-prepared and engaging teacher is a catalyst, a spark that creates the desire to learn in their students.' And finally, on the goals of education, one of my favorites, John Dewey, said, 'Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself.'" I'll leave the final quote to one of this year's recipients' nominators, as they stated, "This year's recipient is the most dedicated and gifted instructor the nominee had the opportunity to ever work with." Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, instructors, staff, for being a trainer of the mind, for their commitment to continual growth and progress, for being a catalyst and a spark thrower, and an educator of lives. This year's recipient for the 2018 Marine Institute Vice President Teaching Award is Dr. Jillian Westcott. Dr. Westcott, I ask you to come forward and receive your award from Mr. Blackwood.
And Dr. Shea, your introduction was great, but the best part was the student standing ovation. Congratulations, Dr. Westcott. The Marine Institute is much more than our buildings and facilities. Our success, as you've seen, is largely built on people. In addition to wonderful faculty, like Dr. Westcott, we are fortunate to have an impressive complement of staff throughout our schools, centers, and administrative units. I would now like to ask Glenn Blackwood to come forward to celebrate one of those impressive individuals by presenting the 2018 Marine Institute Award for Exceptional Service.
Thank you, Angie. Graduates, you've spent countless hours with our faculty, and we've just celebrated one of our finest. Today, we also want to recognize members of our staff in our schools, centers, administrative units, and academic offices, and on our vessels that make invaluable contributions to your education and to the industries we serve. Their work is not always recognized in the classroom, but their knowledge and efforts enrich the quality of life for those who engage in the Institute and enhance our programs and services. Individually and collectively, they work with our students, our faculty, our clients, our partners, our alumni, our visitors, our colleagues, and our collaborators from all over the world. Their work is vital to enhancing the work and reputation of the Institute. This is why we created the Marine Institute Award for Exceptional Service, to ensure their exceptional work is celebrated and recognized. This award is presented each year to a staff member who has demonstrated commitment to excellence in their role that exceeds and their performance and actions that go above and beyond their normal responsibilities. This year's recipient embodies the sentiment in countless ways. For most people who have worked in the fishing industry, the Marine Institute's work in sustainable gear technology is synonymous with this person. He is known as the go-to guy for the development of sustainable, efficient fishing gear technology locally, nationally, and internationally. His profession is one that is truly unique within the Institute and within the fishing industry. Some of you know that we have the largest flume tank in the world, and it's the only one in North and South America. So the people that work in it, you don't find people like that anywhere else in Canada and anywhere else in North America or South America. His profession, as I said, is truly unique. His job title as trawl maker hardly describes his extraordinary knowledge of the global fishing industry and its technologies. He has put that knowledge to work with numerous fishing gear companies, with scientists and governments across Canada, the United States, and throughout Scandinavia. To say he has elevated our reputation in this field would be an understatement. Each of these clients attests to his never-ending positive, supportive nature. I'm looking at it as I say this because I met with him earlier in the week, and he's too humble. And he is supportive of their work, and they appreciate his expertise and personal touch. To quote his nominators, he always leaves you with the feeling that solving your problem is his number one priority. So keep that in mind when you're working with clients in the future. Their problems are your priorities. I too have witnessed them always being 100% committed to everyone having a positive experience and to ensuring a client's time and input are valued. He is very modest, rarely drawing attention to himself, generally minimizing what his input and his skills and knowledge are, but this is a very humble, patient, knowledge-sharing attitude that makes him so influential in this industry. Among his colleagues, he's admired for his continuous mentoring, constant encouragement, his humor, I don't think so, his delightful sense of humor, and his passion to his work. There is no hesitation in describing him as a role model for participants in the sustainable fishing technology sector. He is, simply put, a great colleague, a mentor, and someone I'm pleased to call a friend. If there's any doubt about the legacy he's left to the fishing industry, let me tell you this story. One of his nominators, who comes from a long-standing fishing family and currently works as a gear manufacturer, talked about his own father, who fished for 60 years. Despite their extensive fishing experience, when they were working to gather information on some new fishing gear, his father insisted that he call our recipient. His father said, "Ask Earl. If he doesn't know, he'll find the answer for you." I've had the privilege of working closely with this year's recipient for many years, so I am grateful that we recognize him for his 30 years of commitment to the Marine Institute and to his profession. Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our 2018 recipient of the Marine Institute Award for Exceptional Service, Mr. Harold Deluche.
Thank you, Glenn, and congratulations, Harold. Speaking of exceptional staff, there are a tremendous number of people involved in making this ceremony the campus event that it is today. The team in the Office of the Registrar do absolutely incredible work to ensure that the graduates are all approved and prepared in advance of today's event. And I'm not looking specifically at a number of you, but you do realize last time that some of you were on a vessel. It may have been earlier this week. Before we begin the presentation of candidates, for those of you that will be taking pictures, as you see your graduates cross the stage, I would encourage you not to impede the camera just here in the center aisle. I would now like to call upon Ms. Leslie Noftel, the Marine Institute Registrar, to present the candidates for graduation.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, faculty and staff of the Marine Institute, friends and relatives of today's graduates. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of announcing for you the names of the candidates for the Marine Institute Advanced Diplomas, Postgrad Certificates, Diplomas of Technology, Technician Diplomas, and Technical Certificate Programs. This afternoon's presentation of certificates and diplomas will be made by the head of the School of Fisheries, Mr. Ed Durnford, the head of the School of Maritime Studies, Mr. Fred Anstey, and the head of the School of Ocean Technology, Mr. Paul Brett, and Vice President of Memorial University for the Marine Institute, Mr. Glenn Blackwood. I'd ask that you please hold your applause until the presentation of certificates and diplomas is complete for each school. So I now invite Mr. Ed Durnford and Mr. Glenn Blackwood to present to the candidates from the School of Fisheries. For the Postgraduate Certificate in Quality Management, Amanda Vallis Halliday from St. John's. James Titford from Pooch Cove. For the Diploma of Technology in Food Technology, Abby Fleming from Holyrood. Leah Monica Pumphrey from Mount Pearl. Courtney Toop from Clarenville. For the Diploma of Technology in Marine Environmental Technology, Ashley Davis March from CBS. Zachary Foley from the Goulds. Stephen Gosling from CBS. Victoria Healy from Holyrood. Margaret Hughes from Beaverbank, Nova Scotia. Gillian Porter from Conception Bay South. Kristen Wall from Torbay. For the Advanced Diploma in Food Safety, Megan Abbott from Lewisport. Nilesh Kumar from Jamshedpur, India. Poonam Shokan from India. Rajwinder Kaur from India. For the Advanced Diploma in Sustainable Aquaculture, Rochelle Reed from Port Perry, Ontario. For the Advanced Diploma in Water Quality, Damilola Victoria Adebayo from Nigeria. Emily Porter from Conception Bay South. This concludes the presentation of certificates and diplomas for the School of Fisheries. I now invite Mr. Fred Anstey to join Mr. Blackwood to present to the candidates from the School of Maritime Studies. For the Technical Certificate in Bridge Watch, Jordan Dix from Bay Roberts. Todd Eddy from Lead Cove. For the Technical Certificate in Marine Diesel Mechanics, Alex Brown from St. John's. Acer El Halawani from Chicago, Illinois. Be careful. Oh my. Heather Olford from Gambo. Joel Petton from Coley's Point. Sheldon Phillip from Guave St. John's. For the Diploma of Technology in Marine Engineering, Brendan Barry from Mount Pearl. Daniel Glenn Berkshire from Arnold's Cove. Blake Camden from Pollard's Point. Morgan Robert Eddy from Lead Cove. Michael Halloran from St. Mary's Bay. Aaron John Paul Kelly from Old Perlican. Michael King from Upper Island Cove. Ashley McGraw from St. John's. Joshua Thorne from Bishop Falls. Kayla Wood from Ottawa, Ontario. Kyle Yarn from Paradise. Ryan Young from St. John's. For the Diploma of Technology in Marine Engineering Systems Design, Jordan Barry from Marystown. Jonathan Hines from St. John's. Andrew Lewis from St. John's. Curtis McKay from St. John's. For the Diploma of Technology in Nautical Science, Christian Baggs from Twillingate. Alexander Brisson from Bourget, Ontario. Brian Broders from Tilting. Jay Burge from Twillingate. William Canning from Chilliwack, BC. William Coleman from Paradise. Brock D'Entremont from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Nicholas Doherty from Cornwall, Ontario. Adam Hallwell Dyson from Cartwright. Stephen Flynn from Crow. Danny Kane from Mount Pearl. Jacob Nee from Cartwright. Josh McAvoy from Admiral's Beach. Michael Murphy from Dunville. Chad O'Bleens from Moncton, New Brunswick. Kendall Penny from Conception Bay South. Susan Snow from Paradise. Justin Wells from Fortune. For the Diploma of Technology in Naval Architecture, Ahmed Alwardi from Bahrain. Jennifer Best from Grand Falls, Windsor. Griffin Blades from St. John's. Robin Cummin from Buren. Garrett George from Dildo. Braden Hearn from Bristol's Hope. Samara Hillier from Grand Falls, Windsor. Aaron Lane from Paradise. Satchel Laws from Chester, Nova Scotia. Benjamin Mercer from Mount Pearl. Ryan Peach from Foxtrap. Bradley Riggs from Upper Island Cove. Nathan Sears from St. John's. Emma Williams from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Cody Rice from Whitburn. This concludes the presentation of certificates and diplomas for the School of Maritime Studies. I now invite Mr. Paul Brett to present to the candidates from the School of Ocean Technology. For the Technician Diploma in Remotely Operated Vehicles, Gordon Ball from Burnt Islands. Stephen Fudge from Gander. Mike Rose from Torbay. Christian Sampson from Mount Pearl. For the Diploma of Technology in Ocean Mapping, Jane Dooley from Portugal Cove, St. Phillips. Larissa Kowalenko from Toronto, Ontario. Danielle Roach from Mount Pearl. For the Diploma of Technology in Underwater Vehicles, Gordon Ball from Burnt Islands. Catherine Ducey from Mount Pearl. Stephen Fudge from Gander. Neil Jackson from St. John's. Aaron Kennedy from Middle Sackville, Nova Scotia. Christian Sampson from Mount Pearl. Patrick Douglas Torville from St. John's. This concludes the presentation of certificates and diplomas for the School of Ocean Technology. I present to you the graduating class of 2018. So congratulations. We now move to the presentation of awards and medals. The first award to be presented is the Chancellor's Award. It is awarded to the student of the graduating class who has demonstrated the greatest leadership contribution to student life and other areas of the community during his or her years at the Marine Institute. So I invite Mr. Glenn Blackwood to present the Chancellor's Award for the Marine Institute to this year's recipient, Ryan Peach. Next, we will present the Marine Institute Bronze Medals. In recognition of academic excellence, the Marine Institute awards a bronze medal to the student achieving the highest overall average in the final year of each diploma and technical certificate program. The Marine Institute Bronze Medals for academic achievement will be awarded by Mr. Glenn Blackwood. For food technology, Courtney Toop. For marine engineering, Joshua Thorne. For marine engineering systems design, Andrew Lewis. For marine environmental technology, Ashley Davies March. For nautical science, Susan Snow. For naval architecture, Braden Hearn. For ocean mapping, Danielle Roach. For underwater vehicles, Patrick Douglas Torville. For food safety, Megan Abbott. For sustainable aquaculture, Rochelle Reed. For water quality, Emily Porter. We now move to our final presentation for the day. The Governor-General's Academic Medal was first awarded in 1873 by the Earl of Dufferin, who served as Governor-General. It has since become one of the most prestigious awards that a student in a Canadian educational institution may receive. The Governor-General's Collegiate Bronze Academic Medal is awarded annually to the student who graduates at the post-secondary diploma level with the highest academic standing in his or her institution. So I now invite Mr. Blackwood to present the Governor-General's Academic Medal for the Marine Institute to this year's recipient, Ashley Davis Marsh. Let me be the first on behalf of the Marine Institute family to congratulate all of our graduates, award and medal winners today. With the future at hand, may you continue to pursue excellence. May wisdom and insight guide you along your journey. Celebrate this special achievement and follow your dreams wherever they may take you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Leslie. I now have the sincere pleasure to introduce someone who you've already seen a couple of times on stage this afternoon, a newly minted Marine Environmental Technology graduate, Ashley Davies March, to provide this year's student address.
Good afternoon, fellow graduates, friends, family, faculty, and staff. It's an honor to be standing here today in front of a crowd that has in some shape or form contributed to the success of today's graduates. It's a privilege to be amongst a group of people who have offered and embraced support and who have demonstrated dedication to their jobs, families, studies, and loved ones. Today, we are here to celebrate ourselves and each other. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is one of the most powerful weapons we can use to change the world." Wise words that I understand now more than ever. I believe it is of utmost importance that we take a moment here today to recognize how fortunate we are to have access to education and our responsibility to change the world for the better. I moved to the island almost 6 years ago with no plan, just my suitcase and a hunger for adventure. All I knew then was I wanted to see what us mainlanders call Newfoundland or Newfoundland. But the longer I stayed, the more I grew attached to its beauty, its culture, and its people. In 2015, I decided I was ready to pursue post-secondary education, and the Marine Environmental Technology program at MI seemed like the perfect fit. 3 years have passed since I first walked through MI's doors, and what a phenomenal 3 years it has been. Many early mornings spent studying, copious amounts of study snacks, and many, many days cursing at my homework for keeping me from playing indoors, but it was all worth it. My proudest moment was receiving the 2017 Students on Ice Scholarship, where I had the opportunity to travel through the high Arctic with 150 students and staff from around the world. This experience captured my heart in ways that words can't even begin to express, and was without a doubt a pivotal moment in my life. I take great pride in having had the opportunity to sit on the Sustainability Committee, to have co-founded the Student Environmental Society with Simon Hoffman, and to have received the Fry Family Award for Outstanding Leadership. Thanks to these opportunities provided by the Marine Institute, I've experienced the success that can come from dedication. I've pushed the limits and extended far beyond my comfort zone, and I've acquired the skills necessary to be a leader in my field. And what's even more outstanding is that my story is only one of the many success stories from our Marine Institute graduates. Here at MI, we are submersed in an environment that has allowed us to flourish and to succeed. There's a sense of community here at the Marine Institute, and I believe it to be what makes MI unparalleled. There's this notion that we're all on this journey together, and no one gets left behind. The faculty and staff at MI are nothing short of exceptional, and without a doubt contribute to the richness of the student experience. They are passionate and dedicated, and for these reasons, among others, we as students admire them and we respect them. Their doors are always open for students to ask questions, to engage in thought-provoking discussion, or to simply chat about the latest and greatest. They go above and beyond to help students flourish in their environment and create a sense of comfort to students, regardless of the surrounding hecticness. Students are proud to tell others that they attend or have attended the Fisheries and Marine Institute of Memorial University. And of course, our support system do not end at the doors of the Marine Institute. We owe a big thank you to friends, family, and mentors who have stood by us through our highs and our lows. They have been there to support us, to guide us, and to inspire us every step of the way on our educational pursuit. I ask my fellow graduates to join me in a round of applause for the family members, friends, faculty, staff, and mentors who helped us reach this milestone. And now to you, my fellow graduates, we finally made it. Today, we walk off the stage with a piece of paper in our hands, fire in our hearts, and experience under our belt as we move into this new chapter in our lives. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Life is a journey, not a destination." When we started at the Marine Institute, we all had a common goal, graduation. But I think it's safe to say that many of us didn't put much thought into what our journey at MI would look like. What if you hadn't volunteered to help out with that ROV competition? What if you hadn't joined the Students' Union? What if you hadn't suffered through exams? And what if you hadn't reached out for help when you truly needed it the most? Would you have felt the magnitude of achievement that you feel here today? It was our journey that makes today a special day. Our experiences during our time at MI have allowed us to become critical thinkers, problem solvers, and professionals. As we move forward in our lives and in our careers, I encourage you to remember to embrace the little things, celebrate small success, and be present in all that you do. Take every opportunity, learn as much as you can, ask questions, follow your heart, and do what makes you happy, because life is just too short to do any different. As your fellow graduate, I want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations and best wishes.
What a wonderful job, with some very wise and mature insights. Thank you so much, Ashley, for offering such a genuine reflection of your experience here at the Marine Institute. We are excited to see where that fire in your heart leads you next. In my role here at MI, I am fortunate to gain a rich and grounded perspective from students. I know that there have been days throughout your program that have not been easy. And during those challenging times, the faculty and staff here at MI have not been the only individuals to help you succeed. Post-secondary really is a team sport. And as Ashley has referenced, the support that your families and support networks have provided you is significant, and it is worthy of extra recognition today. Those special individuals have been behind you every step of the way. Today, those individuals and supporters are literally behind you. I would like to ask all the graduates to stand and turn to face your families and supporters and offer them a round of applause in appreciation of their support. Graduates, as of right now, you join the 50 years of alumni of the Fisheries and Marine Institute of Memorial University of Newfoundland. As alumni, today is just the beginning of your journey, and we encourage you to embrace the next phase with the same commitment and resilience that has contributed to the success we are celebrating this afternoon. Please stay in touch as we look forward to seeing what's next for each and every one of you. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and management of the Marine Institute, I offer you our collective congratulations. Before we close the ceremony, there are a couple of housekeeping items. We would like the medal recipients and award winners this afternoon to return to the gym immediately after the procession out to have some photos taken. There will be a reception for everyone downstairs in about 15 minutes. We are going to open the doors to the reception in about 15 minutes to give you guys time to get some pictures. Hopefully it stopped drizzling out. And the reception will be held in the cafeteria, which is on the first floor, and there is an elevator available as well for anybody who would require that. We would also like the audience to remain standing until the stage procession and graduates have left the gymnasium. Graduation 2018 is now officially closed. Please join us in singing the Ode to Newfoundland.